Hello and happy August to everybody out there. This is Dan Lockhart, Director of Instruction for the Rick Smith Golf Academy at the International Golf Club and Resort in Bolton, Massachusetts. And I want to talk to you today about centeredness of contact. We hit our driver especially. We're always trying to diagnose where's the ball, why is the ball going where it's going. And a lot of times if you're a fairly well-educated golfer, you understand that there's a face angle that plays a role in it, and there's also the path of where the club is traveling. Those are two major influences on where the ball will fly. Another influence, and like I say, with a driver especially, is where on the face you make contact. There's a thing called gear effect. You don't have to know all the ins and outs about gear effect, but what you do need to know is that if I consistently hit the ball, or you consistently hit the ball off of the toe, it's going to have a draw bias, so a right to left bias for the right-hander. If you hit it off the heel of the club, it'll have a left to right fade or slice bias. So I just want to talk a little bit about how to diagnose that, because not everybody can feel it going through impact. And then maybe how to change if you do hit it off the toe or off the heel, what influences that as far as the motion goes. So I've got an Expo marker here. It's a dry erase. And all I do is I mark the golf ball. So just make a kind of a dime or nickel size circle there in blue. You can see that right there. Throw my marker down. I'm going to have the blue mark point at the face when I address the ball, point right at the club face. Okay, so I've got my ball teed up. I'm set up, I'm aiming towards my target, of course. And now I'm just going to go ahead and make a swing. Okay, so you didn't see that, but that actually had a little left to right fade bias to it. And there's a blue mark. It is a little bit difficult to see, but this blue mark is just fractionally, maybe a centimeter or two towards the heel of the center of the club face. You might think that's not much at all, but actually, for the speed that I swing, and it's not extremely fast, but at a good 100 miles an hour, 105 miles an hour, one dimple off of that center point, relates to a 3-yard curve if everything else is square. So it does play a role. Imagine if you hit the ball off the scoring lines here. That ball would have curved into the high grass on the right of the fairway here of the range. So, okay, so if I hit it off the heel, why do I hit it off the heel? The shape of the swing influences that quite a bit, and I've noticed this a lot after using this marker and using this routine. A lot of times, what I see, and this is not guaranteed, this is just a high probability, high likelihood. If my swing is too much around, so it's just too horizontal, and as I'm coming out here, I turn a lot, I really rotate, my hands get out away from my body here, a lot of kind of centrifugal, force and roundness here. The club is to the outside, and I'm using the length of the shaft horizontally, and I'll a lot of times hit the ball off the heel. As you can see, this tee is hitting off the heel. Now, a swing more of a vertical swing, like a Davis Love or a Colin Montgomery, if you know them, or Annika Sorenstam, their swings are more vertical. Higher arm swing, more vertical swing plane. Now you're using the length of the shaft vertically, and there's a tendency now to hit it off the toe. So what I would suggest you do is get one of these dry erase markers, check your impact spot. Don't just go off of one shot. Hit a handful to 10 shots to get a sense of the consistency of contact first off, but then where is it hitting on the face, and then you want to maybe work on more vertical, more around, what have you. Obviously, distance to the ball has an influence. There's a lot of influences, unfortunately. That's what keeps me going. But we have to identify first where you're hitting the ball, and that might be the reason why the ball is slicing on you. So don't just always think it's the open face and the weak grip. It could be where on the face you're hitting it. We have a great month of August coming up, and the summer has been very good as far as weather goes. It's been a little hot for my liking, but it's been great, and I hope you've all had a chance to really enjoy the golf courses out here. The Oaks is phenomenal. I'm out there all the time, so a lot more playing lessons this year, and really appreciate the condition that the courses are in this year. It's phenomenal to bring students out there and have a good time on the golf courses here. So have a great August.